People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good evening, and I hope you're all well and safe. Now, at the time of making this video, it's Champions League, I can't wait to watch it. I know Arsenal are not in it, but Champions League begins for me at 5:55. Arsenal, however, will begin on Thursday our Europa League campaign. On Thursday, we're obviously playing against Rapid Vienna. They're a team that, many people might not know much about them. Not saying I'm a genius or know about them either. I'm not sitting there and watching the Austrian League and whatnot. But we have to respect the opposition. We have to respect the competition. We know with the Europa League coming into play, we've got a lot of games coming thick and fast, and it's going to demand a lot of not only Arteta, but every one of those members of the 25-man squad. Now, we know in the group stages, we probably expect some rotation, minimal minutes for Aubameyang, for the Lackers, for the Lenos, ideally. You give Runnison some minutes, Gabriel, Tierney, Bukayo Saka, the guys that feature quite prominently. They will feature in the Europa, but we want to give opportunities elsewhere. And whether you're young players, whether you're fringe players, there's opportunities up for grabs. And in a healthy way, I wouldn't want to play in the Europa League. What I mean by that is, I want to be like probably Aubameyang and the rest of them that are going to get their feet up and not have to travel to Austria apparently, if they don't go. I want to be part of that. I want to be a player that Arteta is saying, cool, you're not going to play because I'm thinking about Sunday against Leicester and you're playing. And you're only going to get that through taking your opportunities. If I look at Emil Smith-Rowe, who's coming back from injury, Joe Willock, Nelson are more relevant examples. They all played against, and Saliba, who I don't think he's been registered in the Europa. I would love for him to get opportunities if he can play. They all play, including Saliba, they all played against Fingy, and excluding Eddie because he's part of the first team. They all played against Man United on Saturday. Now, if I'm Reece, Joe, all of these guys, you wanted to be travelling with the squad to the Etihad. What does that tell you? You might be valued member of the side, but when it's crunch time, you're not relied upon. Do you get it? It's not harsh. That's a fact. You need to look at this without emotion. That's what it is. Eddie's travelled because Eddie elevated his squad status. Saka would be with you lot if he didn't take his opportunities to the level he's taken. Martinelli had Saka as well, but Martinelli had to be patient. Joe Willock and Nelson were ahead of him. He had to be patient. He took his chances in the Europa and hasn't looked back. So there is opportunities, especially for these young players. For Emil Smith-Rowe, Arteta said he's excited to work with you. He's happy that you've got the experience. The Huddersfield Town players love you. You're 20, turning 21 in August, I believe. So this season, you need to make some real progress. Some of these players, they need to make some real progress. I'm not saying you need to become a world star or whatnot, because I would love that, but I'm not saying that. But progress. Go from being these young players that are part of the team in all but name. You're part of it, but you're not really travelling. You're having to play fitness, play under 23s games for fitness. Go out there and sign yourself, because, there's 2.5 months. I don't know if we're going to sign a creative man. Mesut Ozil has not been named in any of these squads. Willian hasn't been used in that role. Arteta has kind of said Ceballos won't be utilised in that role. So if he is looking for a creative man, Emil, you've never really had a better opportunity. I mean, these youngsters collectively haven't had a better opportunity to play for Arsenal, because how many wide-scale opportunities are being given, but you haven't had a better opportunity to fight and tell Arteta that while I can be utilised out wide, you can use me in that creative role. I am the man you're looking for, and most crucially, I am ready. He's got to take those chances. And if you look at it, you and Joe are more or less direct competition. I know Emil can play out wide and Joe can play deeper and whatnot, but that 10 position, Joe Willock's been played in that for whatever reason. If I'm Emil, it's not a friends thing. I want to be ahead of you. I want to use that role ahead of you, so I'm going to play like such. That's what you've got to do. For Reece Nelson, I think in the opportunities he's actually been given, the cup competitions this season, obviously last season against Liverpool, he's done all right. But for me, you want to see a bit more of a confidence Reece Nelson, a bit more of a confident one. Try and take the game, a bit what Saka does and a bit what you're doing in 23s. Try and be the difference maker, Believe in yourself that because I don't know if Reece Nelson genuinely believes he can play at Arsenal. I believe he can. I'm not here to say he's a world-class player and all of these things. I just think he's able to play for Arsenal and get better, But he's got to believe that, He does always look like he doubts himself. I want to see him play with more clarity. I want to see him play with more intent. I want to see him play in the sense of a man that don't want to come off that field on Thursday. And like I said with Pepe, can you stick 2 middle fingers up at Arteta in a healthy way and say, yo, You know, you're giving Arteta a headache in his selection problem. So that's what I want to see from all these young players. And like I said, in relation to Rapid Vienna, you can't disrespect them at all, people. I did some quick research on them, and I think in their last 5 games, they've got 3 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. When I went further back, I did see they lost 7-0 to LSK Juniors. Again, I'm not too clued up on when that was, but I did see that. They haven't kept too many clean sheets either, but they're second in their group. They're behind Salzburg. Salzburg are in the Champions League. So this is a team that you have to take seriously. This is a team that has credibility. You know, it's our first game in the group. Let's start as we mean to go on. Let's not make qualification from this Europa League group stage harder than it is already. We know the Europa League is going to be a drag as we go through, assuming we go through. There's more games and whatnot. You know, the more games we play, the more opportunities there are for young players. Because ideally, you know, once you start getting to a certain point, you don't want to have to utilise the more key players. So I think the players have, you know, they've got some opportunities to show what they can do in this first initial period in the Europa. There's enough games to go around. And obviously the experienced players, like I'm sure, you know, big up El Nene for taking his opportunities, and, you know, he's heard how valued he feels in the squad. But I'm sure, you know, you're a competitor. You want to show Arteta. No one wants to be on the bench. You're all friends, but no one wants to be on the bench. I'm sure he wants to tell Arteta, yo, I know you brought Partey, but I'm better than him. I know you lose Xhaka, but I'm better than him. You know, that's what you should be going with, really, because, you know, everybody fighting, try and take spots. You know, obviously the opposition we're playing has to be discounted, but try and take opportunities. You know, for Runarsson, I don't think you're ever playing ahead of Leno, but show us what you're on. You know, I'd expect Maitland-Niles to come into the team. Go and show what you're on. The same goes for just about anyone, really. In relation to young players, I feel Miguel Aziz defensively, you know, he conceded the penalty against United, and he done that last year for the under-18s against Norwich. He needs to stop being a liability defensively if he is going to take his game to the next level. But he's a baller, you know. There's not much he can't do with a ball. He's very cultured. He does force things a bit, but he's 17. A lot of the aspects in his game you'd expect to have areas of improvement are for a normal 17-year-old. And I think it's a case of when, not if, Miguel Aziz will get opportunities. Maybe the Europa League's come a bit too soon. Admittedly, I don't think he's ready for consistent male football, men's game football sort of thing. But I think he should be on the bench and get minutes and add on to his MK Dons. I think Ben Cottrell, you know, he's shown he can play well in central midfield. You know, against MK Dons, he played at left back. That could be an avenue for him. Balogun's always scoring goals for fun. I know his career at Arsenal seems in jeopardy with a lot of speculation about contracts, but just dealing with the on-field matters, I think he gets an opportunity, or should get an opportunity. There are a number of under-18s players starting well. You know, Flores has been good. Kiddo Taylor-Hart has started off the season well. Daniel Yorke as has Ryan Elaboso, in my opinion. Carl Hahn, the keeper, has started well, but I don't think any of them really, when you're talking first team, they're not ready like that. It's not enough to warrant it. You get what I'm saying, people? But I feel Balogun, Ben Cottrell, Aziz would be it for me. I'm thinking he might be injured, but I wouldn't mind George Lewis. You know, we signed him, had no clue who he was, sort of thing. I've been kind of impressed with what I've seen with him and his aggressiveness. So I wouldn't mind him getting some opportunities, really. So hopefully we see some young players on the bench, man. I don't think we will in this first game, but let's see, people. Admittedly, the lineup, I'm not too sure. I've gone with a 3 at the back again, people, just because I think Arteta's going to line up with that, even though I think it should be a 4. I've gone in goal Runarsson. Forgive me for butchering his name. We've got to see what he's on sometimes. This is one of the rare occasions we can rest Leno, so let's do that. So Leno gets the night off, or will at least be on the subs bench, if anything. Pardon me. Runarsson in goal. Back 3. I'd go with David Luiz, Mustafi if fit, and Kolasinac. You know, if Pablo Maria is fit, I'd like him to get in there, of course. Want to save Gabriel's legs. You know, he can do it, but let's not force it. We've got Sunday. Let's just be easy with that. Wouldn't mind playing Tierney in that row again, but again, let's not force it. I think you can get away with a David Luiz, a Mustafi if fit, and a Kolasinac at left-sided centre-half, which we have done. You know, I'd play Maitland-Niles at left back or left wing-back. Cedric Suarez would come in on the right-hand side for Bellerin. In midfield, in the central midfield positions, I'd give Partey a start. I want him to start against Leicester. My initial thing was Joe Willock and El Nene, but I think Partey deserves a start. Will he start? Probably not. So I go Partey and El Nene personally. Front 3, it's a difficult one because I feel Lacazette deserves some minutes. You know, you can afford to play Laka. He ain't really, you know, last couple of weeks he must be frustrated. So I felt Lacazette, Nelson and Smith Rowe. Then I thought to myself, Nelson, Lacazette, Pepe. Then I thought Eddie, Nelson, Pepe. I'm not sure. People, based on how he looked in the Man United game under 23s, I'd say I'll put Smith Rowe on the bench because I think he looked a bit rusty. I'd go with a Reece Nelson start. I'd go with a Eddie Nketiah through the middle. And I'll go with Pepe, man, really. You know, I go with Pepe. I don't think he's going to start against Leicester, so I go with Pepe, really. Would like to start Smith Rowe ideally, you know. But it is what it is, people. I mean, the front three is what I'm most keen to see. If not, I'd like a 4-3-3. I'd go Runnison in goal. You know, keep it simple. David Luiz and Mustafi/Marie at centre-half. You know, left-back, Maitland. I know there's a lot said about him in a 4 and a 3 and all these things. But he'd do a job for me. Cedric Suarez again at right-back. In central midfield, I would go El Nene, Partey, and probably change it up and go Smith Rowe in that 10 role. Up front, I'd probably go, I'm leaning towards Lacazette more, so I'm not going to lie to you. I'll go Lacazette, Reece Nelson, and probably Pepe. Give Pepe some minutes, because again, you know, he's got one start this season in the Premier League. I know he started in the Carabao Cup, but, you know, he needs to get some fitness, and maybe it will help him get some confidence, really. And like I said, I'd like to see the young players get looks in on the bench. I'm not sure on Marie and Mustafi's fitness levels. I'm not sure what we'd do at centre-half because who is available? You know, Saliba probably isn't going to play. I don't think he's been registered in this. So who knows what's going to happen? Of course, people. Socrates isn't registered. So again, that tells you everything. So at centre-half, I'm keen to see what we do. Would love to see young players on the bench. Would like to see some young players get opportunities. Expect some rotation. But at the same time, I can imagine Lacazette playing, Aubameyang playing, Pepe playing, potentially Willian playing, Tierney playing. You know, I don't want any of these guys to play, or definitely not 90 minutes, but I understand it because our squad is being stretched. And to be fair, Thursday, Friday off, Saturday back in training, preparing for Sunday, it can happen, it can be done. There's enough time to rest. But, you know, if I had to put a push, I'd say, can we rest Aubameyang and Leno the most, really? And probably Tierney. Can we wrap them free in cotton wool? Everybody else, you're kind of good to go, really. I haven't got nothing more to add, so I'm going to get out of here. You lot know it's always a pleasure speaking with you guys, but I've got to keep it moving. I'll probably do another video if anything more comes, because at this moment in time, I haven't seen a press conference from Arteta, which is what I was delaying for with making this vid. But it is what it is now, people. Like I said, take care. People, make sure you've hit the subscription button. Make sure you've got your reminders on. Please hit the like button, and I'd love to hear your comments. So on that note, it's always a pleasure. DG, I'm out.